Welcome to Inspiring People, the show about inspiring people, those who are inspired and those who inspire others. We all know them. They're good examples, they're supportive, they embrace life, they live inspiring lives in their day-to-day actions, and in turn, inspire others to do the same. Hi, and welcome to Inspiring People. My guest today is Vicki Marthaler. Hi, Vicki.
Hi, Harry.
Thanks for being on the show today.
You're welcome.
I want the viewers to know that because this show is being filmed not only for entertainment value but also for historical reference, that I ask each person to begin by having you tell me your name, your full name.
Vicki Lynn Nettestead Marthaler.
And where you're from.
I currently live in Detroit Lakes, Minnesota.
And what's your current profession?
I serve at Emmanuel Community as lay chaplain.
Okay, I'd like the viewing audience to get to know you a little bit better. I know you quite well, but why don't you tell the viewers a little bit about your family?
Well, my husband and I are empty nesters. We just celebrated our 30th wedding anniversary, and we have 2 grown sons. Our oldest is Tony, and he lives in the Washington, D.C. area. He'll be getting married next August, so we're looking forward to planning a wedding this year. And then our youngest son, it's hard to say youngest when they're 24, but
I know what you mean.
The second son is living in Asheville, North Carolina. He is a jeweler and working in a jewelry store down there.
Okay, great. Do you have any of your parents living yet? Or?
My mother lives in Moorhead.
Okay.
And I have 2 sisters, one in Moorhead and one in Fergus Falls.
Well, how nice to have them
and
so
then
close.
my in-laws just live 8 blocks away.
Well, better yet,
yes,
right? You've
and
got
they
the
are.
family around you.
They're a delightful people and happy that they're so close.
Great. Well, how did you end up in Detroit Lakes? Where did you grow up, and kind of trace the path that you took to get to Detroit Lakes?
Well, many years ago, long time ago, in a galaxy far away, I grew up in Sabin, Minnesota, which is population 200. You have to include everything, cats and dogs, to get to be about that high. Okay. But it was a wonderful time. It was a time when Sabin was a booming community with a main street with many businesses, as not the case today. It's kind of the bedroom community now, one of the bedroom communities of Moorhead. But I grew up in Sabin, graduated from Moorhead, so I'm a spud, you know.
Well, you are.
Way a long time ago. I'm a Laker now, though.
I'm a Laker all the way. I was going to say.
And then I was the oldest of my sisters. And then Mark and I, when we became engaged at the age of 21, I was engaged at the age of 21, we decided that we would have to decide where we're going to live. And he wasn't keen on living in Moorhead, and I wasn't keen on living in Mahnomen, from where he's from. And this is BC, before Casino.
Oh, before Casino,
There's
okay.
not a pizza place, anything there. I thought it was like the end of the world. So we took out the Minnesota map, put it out on the table, and Mahnomen was up here, and Moorhead was here, and we went up, and it said Crookston, and he had a relative in Crookston, so then we went this way, and it said Detroit Lakes. And I didn't know anybody there, and neither did he. So that's why we moved to Detroit Lakes.
And you've been here ever since,
We've been
right?
here ever since.
Great. So as a child growing up in Sabin, what did you think that you were going to be as an adult?
Well, of course, I was always going to get married, live on the farm, and have 6 children.
I see. Okay, and when did you realize that it was something else that you wanted to do?
Probably I decided that I was going to have a bit of a career when I joined Northwestern Bell.
Okay, and what did you do there?
I was a telephone operator, and 1970, when I graduated from high school, to work at Northwestern Bell was probably the prime place to work for women, because they employed women, they promoted women, they invested in women, and it was a real great job to have, because I had a future.
And what did, I just can't remember, but what did operators do in 1970? Were they connecting people yet from time to time? I mean,
well, I remember North Dakota. See, I was an information operator. You had to call 411 to get me. But the interesting part about that was the little towns in North Dakota and some in Minnesota only had 3 or 4 digits. They didn't have 7-digit phone numbers.
In 1970?
Yes, so there were operators that had to connect people. That was interesting. I started using the name when you dial information and somebody says, "Hi, this is Diane, can I help you?" I was the first one. I said, "Hi, this is Vicki, can I help you?"
Oh, very nice.
And I had supervisors sitting in and monitoring the calls to see if that was a good thing to do, because they weren't so sure I should do it.
And they liked it.
It was a hit.
It was a hit. So how did you go from being an operator for Northwest Bell to your present position and as a pastor at Emmanuel?
Well, that's a journey.
Okay.
And that's
Give us the highlights of that journey.
That's a journey. When Mark and I became engaged and decided to move to Detroit Lakes, they were closing the Northwestern Bell office. I had worked for 2 years in Moorhead or in Fargo, and so there was no place to transfer to. So I came and actually worked for Colin Peterson as a secretary, because I had gotten a degree in legal secretarial work. And so I worked as a secretary for 5 years for Colin Peterson, and this is before he was a senator. He was a CPA firm, and then when we had our children, I decided to stay home. So then I was a stay-at-home mom, and then when I was 35, I decided if the kids are going to school, I should do something. So then I went to college, and I'd never gone to college before, so I'm an above, or I would say older than average student, which was an interesting title. So I graduated about when I was 40 years old, and I did, it's totally a miracle, I got a job in the school system as a social studies teacher without first coaching successful basketball.
I see.
So that's always...
The two usually do go hand in hand, don't they?
And then I worked for the school system for 5 years in the social studies department at the Alternative Learning Center.
That's right.
And really enjoyed that. But there was a calling within me. I've been an inspirational speaker for maybe over 20 years, and that calling was real in my life. And there was an opportunity, an open door, to come to Emmanuel and serve the residents there. And so I switched my major from education to ministry, full-time ministry. And it's been I've been there 9 years now this month.
And one of the reasons that you're on Inspiring People is because you do inspire a lot of people, the families and the friends of the residents there and your co-workers and so on. What do you find is the most fulfilling part of the work that you do there, Vicki?
Well, for anybody who's a people person, that's what Emmanuel is. It's people. The residents that live there, the staff that work there, the family that have their loved ones there. It's all people all day long. And I guess that's the most fulfilling part, is to know that you are a part of others' lives, journeying with them on their journey, being encouragement. They certainly are encouragement to me. It kind of works both ways. It's one of those jobs I don't think I could ever get burned out on, because it goes both ways.
Well, and in addition to that work, and as part of your ministry, I know that you sing also, and
well, actually, I play the piano.
You play the piano, okay.
Play for someone who sings very beautifully.
Thank you for correcting me on that. And do you want to just mention who that person is and what kind of singing you do?
Yes. In ministry, I've taken piano since I was in 3rd grade, and music has been a part of my life. I can't play by ear, I have to have notes in front of me, but music has always been a blessing to me. And I found that at the nursing home, I could play the piano every day, because everyone loves the old hymns.
Sure.
And there's people with dementia too. Music can touch the heart in a way that nothing else can, and you can connect and communicate through music. So music is a big part of who I am and what I do. And Kim Schnitzer, who is a local vocalist in town, she is a gospel singer, and it just came that God brought us together, and we have a ministry called Sing and Tell the Story, and she sings and I tell, and plus I play for her. And we accept invitations to churches and events, and then we go and have biblical themes, inspirational themes that we lift up to women and men and couples and churches, and it's fun.
Oh,
Get to see more people.
That's right. Well, thank you so much, Vicki. If you could sum up your legacy in just a couple of words, what would they be? What would you like your legacy to be?
I would like my legacy to be hope.
Okay.
That there is hope, no matter the circumstances you find yourself in, that there is hope, and that it's real, and that it's found in the everyday. You don't have to go far away to find it.
Thanks so much. Thank you, Vicki Marthaler, for being here today. Thank all of you for watching Inspired People. If you have an idea for a guest on this program, please send it to Inspiring People, Box 1408, Detroit Lakes, Minnesota 56502. All Inspiring People interviews will be archived in the Becker County Museum. They may or may not be available for public use.